Sure. Yeah. So Austin's bringing a new one. You want to tell us about it?
Sure. So my segment is going to be the 2018 bad quarterback draft class for this upcoming year.
Which I think is a great idea because you're our college football guy.
Thank you.
You know what you're talking about.
I either know it or I fake it till I make it.
Right.
So both strategies have worked well for me so far.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to deploy both of them.
We've still got your classic Who's That QB that rolls into Bad Week in QB history.
Who's that QB?
Which I think next week we'll break it up and I'll do a different Who's That QB just to go back to and maybe choose one that's not from history. So one that's currently playing, so we have a little better chance. Because Tony sends me these quarterback names and I don't watch football, so I don't know who the fuck these people are. But yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I was just waiting for Gator to finish.
Yeah.
All right. So the way that I did this was I ordered it from 1 to 10. It's my top 10 prospects as of yesterday, or
From 1 to
excuse me,
10?
2 days ago.
We're gonna start with your best.
I mean, I can start from my worst, but that's gonna ruin my whole power.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
You
wow,
just kind of.
now- Oh wow, there's so much pressure. I have a mouse now.
You don't have to leave it on the table. You can just hold it.
All right.
Look at that nose.
So I definitely tried a quick format of the slides. The player name, obviously, at the top. Tried to find as goofy of a picture of them as possible.
Yeah, you did. You found a
Correct.
good one.
The fun fact in the middle, I spent a lot of time finding fun facts about these guys. And I pulled information, and I have a citation also at the end of the PowerPoint.
No, you don't.
I shit you not, I do, because
Jesus.
I didn't want to get cited for plagiarism from Walter Camp Football. Really reputable name.
This is really great.
In football. So let me get my computer up to the same speed.
Cut off, by the way. I think it has something to do with that's my fault. It's cut off on the bottom.
Can you fix it? I'm just if you can't fix it, it's probably fine.
Shit. What's
But
going
maybe
on
you
there?
could try to fix it or something.
Can you just shrink
All
the
right.
text box?
I don't know.
Nope, that didn't really work.
Well, I can just read off the snapshots if it's easier.
Yeah, that's not working. You're gonna have to shrink the text, Tony.
Also, all of
Do it for every slide.
Yeah.
Also, just an FYI, I did have colors on all my slides too, so your whole formatting of my PowerPoint, I'm really disappointed in your PowerPoint situation. Anyways, Josh Rosen, #1 QB prospect for this year while Tony's figuring this out. You guys have probably read the entire slide by now anyways.
Pull up. Okay, you got it. Okay.
I do have it on mine. And so he goes to UCLA right now. He is definitely, like I said, #1 quarterback prospect coming out of college, 6'4", 210. Fun fact that I found out about him: his first sport was tennis. He was a top 10 junior.
He looks
player.
like a tennis player.
He look at his nose.
Look at that damn nose.
It is a honker. He is also the same guy that got in a lot of trouble at the beginning of the preseason because he said something to the effect of, it doesn't make any sense for college athletes to also have to take full-time class schedules because they're not there. Like, they're there for their football abilities, not for their academic prowess. And he goes to UCLA, which is one of the most prestigious universities in the entire country.
Wow.
So there was like a big thing. His
It
coach,
sounds like something an OSU player said once.
LOL. So obviously he makes some good points about these things. We'll move on from that. But he's sort of controversial because of that, I guess. So the snapshot. So on the year, Rosen's completed 64% of his passes, a little over 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 picks. Keep in mind, this is through about 6 games. So you can, kind of do the math on that. He's been lucky on a few, more than a few of his passes, and he's lucky that they didn't turn into a lot more interceptions. He should have a lot more than 8. He should probably have about 11 or 12 picks this year.
Damn. Through 6 games.
Yeah, he's a real gunslinger. They don't really run the ball too much.
And
at
he's the
UCLA. Top dog. He's like your prototypical next Aaron Rodgers type, thing. So we'll see. He has the best, quarterback mechanics in terms of being smart in knowing the game. He's really talented, has serious arm talent. His pocket presence is tops in the
Is he projected to go #1 overall?
him and one of my other guys who I personally have a little bit lower on my ranking list than some of these other some of the guys that like ESPN for example would have ranked. But yeah, him and then one of my other guys are essentially fighting to be the top pick.
So you think this guy's going to be good, or good in our standards?
For in our league, he's going to be good for the first year or two. He's in the league, and then it's really going to see what situation he gets put in. I really think that all these guys are talented coming out of school, but if they get put into a bad situation, it's really, really
There we go. Nice job,
there
Tony.
It is.
Nice,
Good,
Tony.
Tony.
Ones and twos, baby.
Again, Tony, great job. Yeah, so Josh Rosen definitely deserves to be talked about in terms of the number one overall player, especially at being at quarterback, most important position on the field other than offensive line, obviously.
So this could be the Cleveland Browns next quarterback.
Could be the Browns, could be the Jets.
The Niners, 0-6.
The Niners. There are some teams out there that this is going to be the guy moving forward.
Okay.
So we'll have to definitely pay attention to him.
Browns 0-6. We got the Niners are 0-6. The Giants are 1-5. All of these places need quarterbacks.
Giants will be looking to replace Eli Manning in the draft this year.
So
I'm not sure you heard it here first, but that is definitely something that will be happening.
Okay.
So Josh Rosen is fighting with this next guy, Sam Darnold, for essentially
Dick Hammer.
the top. Literally.
Holy shit.
This is super interesting. So he goes to USC. So
They're playing
right across the street there
Notre Dame tonight
in Los Angeles. Yeah, they're on right now playing Notre Dame, getting whooped. By the way, it was 21-0 last time I checked, and USC was losing. He is by far the most overrated quarterback prospect in this next draft class. The only reason I have him here on my slide is to mention this fact that this is where everybody else has him ranked, and I want to right here acknowledge he will be a draft bust. He will be a terrible pick. Whatever franchise gets him will be making a huge mistake.
Wow.
And he is going to be one of the best players in the bad QB league next year.
So week 1, 2018,
Sam Darnold.
Austin's taking Sam Darnold.
Wow, bag it, tag it, man. That's a big statement.
So
Even if Sully picks Austin last again,
even if still doesn't even matter, I'll trade my pick somehow. We'll figure out how to maneuver this. But
that's a good idea right there. I like the idea of us being able to trade picks for personal favors or whatever. I think I love it.
I don't know. We can bring it up to the commission at a later date. Don't want to get too sidetracked. 6'4", 225. He's got all the tools. He played really well in the second half of the year last year against some squishy competition, as Aaron would say.
Squishy.
So his grandfather is Dick Hammer, who was an Olympic athlete.
Dick Hammer.
Dick Hammer has to be a drink.
A drink for that hammer.
First of all, it's a legendary name.
That is the best name I've ever heard.
Sounds like a wrestler.
Top 3. He was Dick Hammer, also an actor, and he was most famous for being one of the original Marlboro Men.
What kind of actor was he? Was he a adult film actor?
So he was most famous for being one of the original Marlboro Men. So I just said that.
Is that an acting gig or like a magazine spot?
Yeah. So if you do like TV commercials, you're still an actor.
What? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is your segment, Austin. You keep going.
It is. Don't derail me. Also, this picture really geeks me out of his face.
He's got a baby
He's
face.
so confused about what's going on right now. Whatever is happening, he's so confused.
Looks like the you know those guys in Super Mario, the big block guys who slam down on the ground.
Yeah.
That's what his head shape. It's very.
Yeah, it is.
It's a square. It's a straight square.
Blockhead.
All right. So, in 2017, again, this is roughly through about 6 games or so. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he can come back. And honestly, he might come back next year. But a lot of people are projecting him to go because he might be one of the top QBs taken in the first round. So that money might talk for him. Redshirt sophomore completed 63% of his passes, little over 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. The number one thing is that he needs to improve his decision making and his confidence. He actually admitted that his confidence has been an issue for him this year, especially after a couple of the losses. And some scouts are saying that he might, saying kind of what I'm saying, either it's okay, it's just a confidence issue, or this guy's going to be a huge bust.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. He's definitely not one of the can't miss prospects. Like everybody's talking him to be a like Deshaun Watson, for example. So, yeah, this guy right here, definitely keep your eye on him
Piece of
for
trash.
next year.
Garbage. That looks
Lamar
like a
Jackson,
mugshot, man.
Again, a great, amazing picture of him. By the way, all I
Sure.
did was a Google search of their names, and these were like some of the first pictures that came
Right,
up.
right.
So these are just amazing. Goes to Louisville, 6'3", 205. I think a really good fun fact, I was listening to just like one of those like stupid little interviews they were doing before the season. His favorite hero is Superman.
Which is the worst pick for
No,
superheroes.
hold on, stop. This
No.
is the best pick for him because he can do everything. He can run for 200 yards. He can throw for 400 yards. He'll throw for 6 touchdown passes. I mean, he will single-handedly put the team on his back and win the game.
So you like this guy then?
I love Lamar Jackson. I do think he plays in a bad system at Louisville in terms of translating to the NFL. So I do think that will be a problem for him. But I think he's talented enough, and I think that he's smart enough, even though his face looks stupid as hell. He is a smart enough quarterback. He's a better version of Mike Vick. That's what people are saying. He won the Heisman last year. So
Gotcha.
on Louisville, I mean, they're a good program, but they're not a great program. So if you can win the Heisman at a program like Louisville, you have to be a hell of a player.
Yeah.
So far, again, won the Heisman last year as the best overall player in college football. So far this year,
Superman.
completed 60% of his passes, 2,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. 91 carries for 510 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns as well this year.
Wow.
In terms of his skill set, incredibly powerful arm. He can make throws on the run like Aaron Rodgers can make that nobody else can make. Tom Brady can't make these throws. Phil Rivers can't. Like, nobody can make these throws. This guy is that type of talent. He is really tough, but he's really, really skinny. It's like really.
I was gonna say 6'3",
really
205.
fragile. Yeah,
That's a light man right there.
I just really think that that's going to be one of the big things holding him back. Hopefully he doesn't get injured because this guy is an amazing talent. He's just as much fun, if not more fun, to watch than Mike Vick, which is like one of our favorite players
That's
growing
a
up.
big shoes to fill right there.
Huge shoes to fill. Literally, they're saying that he looks like a taller version of Mike Vick because he's 6'3". So
Wow.
we'll see. Hopefully for us and for our entertainment value, he does turn out to be this. He's going to be maybe late first, early second round pick type of deal. He might, depending on how the end of the year finishes, he might move up, but I don't think he'll be like the first quarterback taken. I definitely think he'll be more of like a round 2 type of guy.
So not a bad quarterback in our league necessarily.
No, he's going to get a chance to play. He's too talented not to.
So I want to go back and just say that Superman is the worst superhero. He's the worst.
That's no.
He's so boring. It's I wish that was on camera. I wish we could see that.
Honestly, Superman is a Superman.
Yeah, it's boring. Oh, he can do everything
Yeah.
Oh.
except for one little thing.
Except rocks are bad.
Little green rocks. Hates those green rocks.
I'm not big. I don't like know all these things.
It's not-
Yeah, I like don't know.
You're
any.
coming at you.
See, that was my wheelhouse. You know.
All right,
you know.
cool. We're talking about like quarterbacks and shit, but that's fine. Lamar Jackson, he's going to be a dangerous. He'll be a really risky pick next year. We'll see. He's a guy that might get some of those 40-yard runs and really kill you. Like more so than Deshaun Watson, like scarier than that. So we'll see.
Okay. What we got next?
Didn't work. Josh Allen.
Look at that.
This little weasel-looking
Greasy
motherfucker. Sorry, I shouldn't use that
motherfucker.
language.
No, fuck it.
So Josh Allen, he goes to Wyoming, which is obviously not even a Division 1A team.
Looks like he goes to Wyoming High School.
Yes, that's exactly right. Actually, he actually is currently in high school. 6'5", 222 though, real big guy, nice frame. Fun fact: didn't receive a single Division I scholarship offer. He's being talked about getting taken in the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks. He is really good so far this season. The problem is that his team is not
Right.
good at all. So he's only completed 58% of his passes for about 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 4 picks. I think he's only played like 4 games though, so he's played definitely less
What?
games.
He's played 4 games in college.
This year.
Oh,
All the other guys have played like 6 games.
All right.
He's played a couple less games this year. That's why his stats are
All right.
lower. He's definitely going to be a high pick, but he's going to be a work in progress. He's he might not be a guy that ever shows up on the radar next year because he might not play. He might be a guy, hopefully not like Paxton Lynch, but definitely takes a year, is, practice squad type of guy, third string quarterback, learns NFL offense, and then take it from there and see what he can do. He's definitely talented, plays in Wyoming. We'll see how that translates to the NFL.
Right.
For this
Fucking
guy.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. And, of course, I used the picture of him
fuck
stabbing
you.
the flag in the OSU field. I
Fuck
wasn't going to
you.
not do that with all these OSU
Thank you.
fans in our league. That is me purposely instigating you.
Yeah, it's working.
Obviously goes to Oklahoma. He's listed at 6'2". There's no chance he's actually 6'2". He's
6'2"?
more like 6 foot. 215. So he has a super interesting story if you guys don't know the backstory. Walk on at Texas Tech. After the first year, they promised him a scholarship, and they didn't give it to him. They lied.
Fuckers.
And so he transferred to Oklahoma, and that first year he transferred there, won the starting job at Oklahoma. Obviously, the rest has been written. Playoffs, Heisman contender, one of the top quarterbacks in entire college.
I bet Texas Tech really hates themselves right now.
Yeah, Texas Tech, irrelevant.
No doubt.
So Texas Tech has had a lot of problems over the years keeping quarterbacks. They've had a lot of really good quarterbacks that have come and gone through there. So he has completed 73% of his passes so far this year. 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns, 1 interception this entire year. I will say he plays in the Big 12. Big 12 defense is totally suspect. Their non-conference schedule, other than Ohio State, was weak. He's definitely undersized for the NFL. Average arm strength, not going to be super impressive in terms of like the combine numbers, right? Obviously, he's got good speed. He definitely gets happy feet, and he has trouble reading the defense sometimes after his first read. Could be a problem in the NFL. Could be a really good pick next year if he gets playing time. Not sure that he will.
What year is he?
I believe he's either a redshirt junior or a senior.
If you had to guess, what would his favorite color be?
Whatever that is, like crimson, whatever Oklahoma color is.
All right.
Why?
I see. He knows everything about these guys.
So, yeah. Anyways, Baker Mayfield, love him in college. I really see him turning out not like Johnny Manziel off the field, but in terms of like on field, I'm not sure how successful he's going to be. I hope he is because he's fun to watch. I just don't know. So it's that Johnny Manziel thing kind of put a damper on some of these similar style quarterbacks. It's really tough to kind of project them.
Right.
All right, Mason Rudolph, college, Oklahoma State.
Rudolph.
This was the guy who I couldn't find a good picture of, and I was really pissed about it.
Yeah.
And the fun fact is not really that good of a fun fact. It's okay. 6'5", 235, big dude. His fun fact is he met the Backstreet Boys while he was on a trip to Israel a couple years ago, and he is a huge Backstreet Boys fan. So that is the fun fact.
That is fun.
Good for him.
He has a lot of pictures on Facebook and Instagram of him with the Backstreet Boys. He's a big fan. So it's kind of an interesting cat for sure. Another fun fact, him and Baker Mayfield really good friends off the field, and it's funny.
For sure.
Yes, for sure.
Good call, producer. Young Tony.
It is funny that because they go to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, obviously huge rivalry, the Bedlam, big-time rivalry, so kind of funny that they're friends off the field too. Completed 67% of his passes, 1,900 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 picks. Really good touchdown-interception ratio. Again, Big 12 defenses are terrible. He's really good. He's going to definitely need to develop more to be a good pro, though. I think that this draft class overall is being overhyped in general.
That's what I've heard.
People are saying there's so many good college quarterbacks, and they're good college quarterbacks because they're playing in these systems. When they get to the league, it's a lot different. So he's definitely going to have to work on anticipating throws, his accuracy while working under center because they're all shotgun type deal. So he's athletic. He's got good arm strength. Smart guy, but totally up in the air. Not sure he's going to get a lot of playing time, but he'll definitely be drafted in the middle of the draft. Oh no, my picture of fault.
This is how deep cut he is.
This is such a good picture too, and I'm really sad that it's not there. Yeah, it's the real. It looks like Jay Cutler honestly, which is why I picked the picture.
Tony will take care of it.
Tony's going to get us taken care of. So he goes to Washington State, kind of random, 6'4", 205. He was a walk-on when he first came to. There it is, great
Worth
picture, great picture. Jay Cutler 2.0.
6'4", 205.
Yeah, tall, dude,
Twig, man.
real skinny. He was a walk-on at first, and he worked in the catering department for the athletic department.
He obviously didn't eat much there. Jesus.
Literally not. No, but like he literally had to like pay his way to like figure everything out. He tried out for the team, made the team, and now he's like being talked about as a possible NFL draft pick. Pretty cool story. He looks like a total douche. I don't know if he is or not, but he just looks like Jay Cutler, and that has to be bad for him.
Good for us.
Am I wrong?
That's
good for us. Bad for him. Am I right? Okay. 71% completion percentage, 2,300 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 picks. NFL teams are really intrigued by him because a lot of players don't come out of Washington State, and he's making his team look really good so far this year. But they're wondering if he's just a product of the system type of deal, what we've been talking about. So good pocket passer, but definitely a guy that's not going to be a starter right away in the league. He could if somebody gets hurt, obviously, but he's a guy that a couple years down the road, his name might surface, and you'll be like, where did he go to school? He went to Washington State. Okay, now Tony's got me. Thanks, Tony.
Look at that picture.
This dude literally looks like a
MGK?
I don't want to be mean.
It kind of looks like MGK.
This dude looks. This picture is honestly the number one worst picture. There are way more flattering pictures of him that I obviously did not want to pick for this. So this is the literal worst picture I could find, and it was amazing.
The only thing I can see this guy running is running from the cops.
That's a fact. And like maybe like meth dealers and things like that. Texas Tech quarterback. Speaking of Texas Tech, 6'3", 205, kind of small. He used to run his own furniture restoration business in high school, which is like really
crazy.
Weird and interesting.
Yeah.
He is the replacement for Pat Mahomes, who was the top 10 pick for the Chiefs, who was sitting waiting for Alex Smith to fuck up and so he can go in the game.
Not happening thus far.
Not happening at all. But Mahomes is like uber talented. They literally think that guy's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see if that turns out. But this is his replacement. So he definitely has good arm talent. 70% of his passes, 2,100 yards, 18 TDs, 4 picks. But again, it's all against terrible teams in the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is a terrible conference.
Poopy doopy.
Poopy doopy.
Couldn't agree more.
So, yeah, Nick Shimonik. Also, I feel like there could be some really good nicknames for him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, at this point, I don't know if these guys are guys that are going to make it in the league, but you got to do a top 10 list. He makes the top 10.
Yeah, for sure. I said
For
for
sure.
sure. I said for sure. Wow.
For sure.
Gator said it.
Producer. For sure.
All right, this idiot looks
That sounds
so
like
dumb.
that's a girl's name.
Riley Ferguson, definitely a girl's name. Also, he looks, it actually is a porn star. No, so he literally looks stoned in this picture, and that's definitely why I chose it. Totally looks caught off guard. It looks like it's almost from like the middle of a video clip, which is awesome. 6'4", 210 pounds. He transferred from Tennessee, which is funny that he went to Memphis. Father proceeded to call the environment in Knoxville, Tennessee, a dumpster fire.
You spelled Knoxville wrong. You're
I
dumb.
just noticed that.
You're Congsville.
Honestly, I thought that I did a really good job when I saw that, and I'm rattled right now.
You know what? You're doing a great job of making the text the same color as their school. Big fan of that.
Thank you. I tried really hard on that, too. Guys, this PowerPoint presentation took me a while to do.
It's dope.
So, pretty funny. This guy honestly seems like a spoiled brat to me, and I hope he fails. He looks like an asshole. His dad seems like an asshole. He literally wasn't good enough to play
Kind of a LeVar Ball situation.
But at least Lonzo Ball's good.
Yeah.
So, him, not so much. He's completed 59% of his passes for 1,800 yards, 19 TDs, and 5 picks. He needs to fill out his frame. He definitely can throw the ball really far. But Jamarcus Russell could also throw the ball really far. So, we all know where that turned out. And he plays for Memphis.
I mean,
All these guys
lots
have
of people can throw the ball really far.
Yeah, exactly.
all these guys have small frames. Is that normal for college quarterbacks to come out
that's
that
why
small?
I like guys like Mason Rudolph, who is looking at 6'5", 235. That's why somebody like him, who definitely has some things that he has to work on, he's the guy that's going to get picked because he's got the size, he's got the intangibles, he's going to measure well at the combine. A lot of these guys are not going to measure well in terms of the weight at the combine. Good height, just really skinny.
So, like, I saw a clip of Aaron Rodgers when he was at Cal, and he was tiny,
Aaron Rodgers was,
and now he's big. So
that's the thing, man. Like, these NFL weight programs are a next level type of deal with these guys. Like, transforming, like from high school to college, it's a total transformation of your body. But from college to the pros is just as big of a transformation. That one's almost more noticeable just because you're like literally not even a human being at some point. So he's probably not going to make it in the league. And like I said, I hope he fails. So,
What are we at now?
That was number 9.
Okay.
This is number 10. This is a guy who this picture is hilarious. His face is awesome in this picture.
Talk about skinny.
Way skinny. He's a little shorter too. He's from Washington. Jake Browning, 6'2", 205. He led the Washington Huskies to the playoffs last year. Washington is not historically a powerhouse team, and he kind of put the team on his back last year. High school threw 229 career touchdown passes. Had 1 year where he threw 91 touchdown passes in the same effing year, dude. And that's crazy. High school national records, like not even fair.
That's crazy.
No, dude. In high school, you play like 10 games.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's like would be a conservative.
Like 9 touchdowns a game.
Oh my god. The high school didn't put in their second string.
Well, no, I mean, what I would say is that I bet you that includes playoff games.
Right.
And so I don't know how many. He was from California. I have no idea.
And he was playing in the blind league or something like.
No. The number 1 league in California, like
Holy
the top
shit.
league in California.
Okay, well
this guy's ranked number 10.
So it's funny because this year he hasn't had as good of a year, and he doesn't measure well like some of the other guys. He's total pocket passer. He's only 6'2", 205. Doesn't really run the ball. Definitely needs a good offensive line in front of him. Otherwise, he's screwed.
But the NFL, from what I've seen and heard commentators talk about, is they kind of look for those pocket passers that aren't necessarily like OSU guys run the ball a lot.
That's why I think this guy's got a chance. On this website that I got a lot of the just like this height, weight type stuff from, in like a lot of these snapshot things, they had him ranked around 16th or 17th overall. There were some other quarterbacks that were rated a little bit higher.
I noticed you didn't see JT Barrett on there.
Yeah, because he's terrible, bro. He's not even worth mentioning. So I honestly did think about putting him on this list, but I don't think that he's worth mentioning. These other guys, I don't think
he'll do just what every other OSU quarterback does and become a wide receiver and then make it into the.
I don't think he's that type of guy. I think what happens is he ends up playing football in Canada.
Yeah.
Which is totally cool. You can make a lot of money there, but you're in Canada. So Canada's tight, by the way.
They play duck, duck, gray duck. So
yeah. So really fast, 69% completion percentage. Shout out
to Gronk.
1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. Good college player. Might be too short to play in the pros. He did have shoulder surgery after the 2016 season. Another thing that bumps him down this list.
Yeah.
Arm strength not quite where it was when he was even in high school. He's an interesting guy. I feel like he's going to make it on a roster. Not sure if he's going to be a starter, but he's a guy who might make it as a second or third guy. He'll be on someone's practice squad next year, and then someone's going to get hurt, and he's going to get an opportunity to play a little bit, I think. So he's a guy to watch out for, a random guy that his name might pop in like week 8 next year, just random, kind of like who the hell is Jake Browning. This guy might, pop in there as a injury replacement type of guy.
What a segment.
Here's my citation.
Move on to this.
Also, shout out to Google.com for those pictures.
Shout out. Oh, no.
Shout out,
pop another beer for that.
Shout out.
Shout out, producer.
That's great. Austin, I appreciate the amount of effort you put into this segment. It was a lot of information, and I liked it though. It was
Well done.
It's stuff
Well
I'm gonna.
done.
You guys are gonna have this forever.
You know,
And
yeah.
we
When
can
I
run back the tape.
when I see these
Well
guys
done.
next year, I'm gonna be like, hey, Austin told me about this guy, and that big nosed Josh Rosen.
Yeah, so the PowerPoint, if you want the PowerPoint, I'm selling it.
Kuiper, you listening? McShay, you
Yeah,
got it?
if you guys need this, you let me know.
Oh boy! All right.
Okay.
It's my quarterback.